We're here at the PDC Fishing Championship. We're delighted to be joined by six-time World Snooker champion Steve Davis. Steve, how have preparations been going for tomorrow?
Perfect. I've done no fishing since last year. I think that's the best way. Fortunately, we have a team of experts with us. Things have moved on. The game's become far more professional now. Every member of our team has somebody who's an absolute expert in an attempt to try and win and retain the title. And obviously, tempting fate, I think it's obvious that we're going to win again. We've got the World Snooker champion Mark Williams, the previous winner, plus a crack team, and it's in the bag already.
As you say, snooker really well represented again. Is there going to be a bit of internal competition between you again?
I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously it's an individual prize, but to be quite honest, it's about the fun of probably being a team. Far better. It's about the experience. Obviously, we raise money for charity as well. That's the most important thing. But it's become a great event. You know, it's become good fun, and all thanks to Jess Harding and his team, because he sort of believed in it, and it's grown now to such a level. And this is a beautiful place we're having it this year.
Away from fishing and snooker, what have you been up to? How's the DJing been going?
Well, yeah, I've had a very strange sort of change of direction, really, from being a snooker player, struggling obviously towards the end of my career. Then all of a sudden, you know, strangely enough, as one door closes, another opens, and yeah, DJing's weird. I don't think I'm going to be doing the DJing here later on tonight, though. So no good, no good.
You've got a pretty impressive record collection. How many records have you got, and what's the rarest record you own?
Bits of plastic. I'm having therapy about buying them, but I've got probably 10,000 records, I suppose, in total. It's my hobby, my passion, more than perhaps anybody else's on the snooker circuit. The rarest one, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Not 500 quid. I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
So you retired from competing professionally on the main tour a few years ago. What do you miss most about the tour and being a snooker professional?
Well, I think the most difficult thing for anybody that's involved in sport is once they retire from that sport, and it doesn't matter what age you retire at, the most difficult thing I think probably is that you lose the excitement of building up for the event, the working up to it, the practice that goes into it, and then the excitement of the event. So that can create a massive void. I'm talking quite seriously about that. There are plenty of sports where that becomes an issue, where people have vast depression, something I think now people are talking about more than ever before. So a tough job can sometimes be what happens after you leave your sport. Fortunately, I sort of I wrung the last degree out of my career. But let's say you're a cricketer or a footballer and you retire at the age of 30, whatever, and you've got the rest of your life with perhaps nowhere near that driving force. That can become an issue.
We've seen you in action on the Legends Tour, and you even managed to pick up a title at the Irish Masters at the start of the year.
Well, that was just as a one-off, really, but more sort of for the fun of the event rather than anything else. But yeah, I'm fully retired from competitive snooker. Still do a few exhibitions and things like that. But my only interest now in snooker is following the tour, obviously, and watching the events unfold on BBC as a pundit.
Yeah, the season just getting underway. We also had the Paul Hunter Classic at the weekend. Who's caught your eye so far?
I think it's good to see Mark Williams continuing in a winning form. I think what's happening now in snookers is just becoming so competitive that if you can manage to win any event, you've done so well in the season. And I can't see that changing now. So the fact that you can become a multiple winner in a season, I think you've got to be happy with that. You can't guarantee which events you're going to win, but if you can bag 3 or 4 events in a season, you've had a bloody good season.
There's quite a lot of debate on social media at the moment about shot clocks and average shot times. I mean, where do you stand on all that?
I think it can become a bit of a red herring into what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to achieve rhythm in players' play, so they don't look that boring on the television. The actual shot clock thing, I don't think will ever be part of snooker. It's going to be an average over a season, over a tournament. But of course, everybody's picking up on the shot clock. I don't think it's ever going to become part of that game. But if obviously somebody is continually slow, there is the information out there via the software to say that person averages 35 seconds a shot. But ultimately, I think really the referees should be the ones that judge the speed of play, because you can manipulate the times shot clock. You can play shots faster after the frame's finished. More importantly, I think the referees need to be empowered to try and judge when somebody's taking too long.
I think that's fair, though, that a player could be penalised for potentially taking an average of over 30 seconds.
I don't think that's necessarily going to happen as strongly as people predict. I think what it's going to do is to sort of judge who are the slowest players on the tour. But that's down to the referees to decide as well, I think, because there's times when you have to be slow and there's times when you can be quick. It's not just a blanket shot clock. And I think when this was introduced, I don't think it was introduced with a view to it being a clock that is going to be played at events. That could never happen.
How do you think that would have gone down in the 1980s at the peak of your career, something like that?
Well, obviously, sport changes and everybody's trying to make it exciting. Everybody's aware of the time it takes to play a round of golf or to bowl an over at cricket. So there's more pressure on every sport to try and be entertaining to the masses because you're in competition with other sports. Back then, there wasn't really that issue, because snooker was always a slow burner, so therefore that wasn't the problem. And I think probably as I said before, it's a bit of a red herring to think that you have to make snooker faster to be more entertaining. Snooker doesn't work that way. Actually, it works the opposite way to a lot of sports. It doesn't have to be fast to be entertaining. Sometimes the tactics alone can create the enjoyment and the fascination. So I don't think it's the same problem for snooker as for other sports like cricket that needs to slow up, speed up possibly. But they've got the software. The information's out there. So perhaps if there are the players who are very, very slow, then they need to be G'd up. I don't think you're going to see massive fines. I don't think you're going to see anybody banned. I don't think you're going to see anybody docked matches, docked frames. I really don't think that's going to be the outcome. And if that stage does happen, then I won't be watching snooker because I don't think it will be the same game anymore.
Yeah, in terms of the future of the sport, how do you see the next few years panning out? Are the old guard still going to rule the new guard?
Well, fascinatingly, the older players are doing very, very well to keep up with the changing pace of the game. I think actually what's happened is because there's more tournaments in the season, it's actually helped the older players to sort of to have more competitive matches and keep in the zone. I think the interesting thing is to how the younger players can overturn the experience, because it was a game there where it was considered the experience was more important. It looked like it was going the other way. That was more walking the tightrope was more important than the experience. But now it's swung the other way. But if it follows the likes of other sports, you would think the age would get younger. So it will be interesting to see. I think the older players are still going to be around. But if the weight of younger players becomes so much that there's more of them around, then they will flood the market, and therefore the older players may struggle a bit.
Steve, thanks very much for joining us, and we wish you all the best for tomorrow in the fishing. Thank you.
Pleasure. It's a foregone conclusion. You know it's won.